Top stories in this edition of the WINN TV News. Basseterre High School students will not be returned to the old campus, says the Education Minister. Parents of Government Minister robbed and attacked. And President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Sir Dennis Byron, is urging Caribbean leaders to embrace the CCJ. I'm Andre Huey and welcome to another edition of the WINN TV News. Education Minister Sean Richards is assuring that Basseterre High School students will not be returned to the old campus on Victoria Road.
Absolutely nothing is taking place at the Basseterre High School. There will be no reoccupation of the Basseterre High School during the next school term.
Persistent reports have been circulating in social media that the government intended to return the students to classes at the school before health concerns there were identified and resolved. But Education Minister Sean Richards tells WINN FM that, on the contrary, all cleanup work at the school has been halted.
There is a facilities manager who was hired by the previous administration to oversee the work being done at the Basseterre High School. I, along with my permanent secretary, met with the facilities manager, Curtin Thompson. Mr. Thompson was instructed to have all work ceased at Basseterre High School. He has since been deployed to the other high schools and primary schools in the Federation to take a critical look at them and to determine the maintenance needs of those other educational institutions.
The Deputy Prime Minister asserts that a new school will be built either at a new location or at the old location if the problems there can be definitively identified, resolved, and the old buildings torn down.
The parents of Tourism Minister Lindsay Grant were attacked overnight Wednesday during a home invasion and robbery. Warrington Grant and his wife were awakened before dawn to find their attackers bearing down on them. The two masked men reportedly each carried a gun and a knife. More from WINN TV's Tony Frederick Armstrong.
I'm at the home of Warrington and Sybil Grant in the hills above Sandy Point, where the family is reeling from the shock of an armed attack and robbery in the early hours of Thursday morning. The elderly but active couple were awakened before dawn with their attackers bearing down on them. The two attackers were masked and each carried a gun and a knife. Mrs. Grant had her face held against a wall with a gun to her head as she lay in bed. Mr. Grant, lying next to her, had a pillow held over his head. He was badly beaten and cut. Their assailants kept demanding that they turn over a shotgun that Mr. Grant is known to have on his property. They ransacked their bedroom, a second bedroom, and a bathroom. Their telephones were smashed, a cell phone was smashed, another cell phone was stolen. Upon finding a bag containing some U.S. currency, the attackers left, leaving the kitchen door open and taking the keys to their vehicle. The keys were later found outside and the tires of their vehicle were slashed. From the home of Warrington and Sybil Grant in the hills of Sandy Point, this is Tony Frederick reporting for the WINN FM News.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
WINN FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. WINN FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 WINN FM.
Welcome back. President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Sir Dennis Byron, is urging Caribbean leaders to embrace the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, and stop clinging to the London-based Privy Council as their final court of appeal.
It is time for all Commonwealth countries to reassess their dependence on the Privy Council, so says President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Sir Dennis Byron.
That as the final court of appeal, the Caribbean Court of Justice is best equipped to carry forward the goals and aspirations of the Caribbean people, to protect democracy in the region. Now, but independent status, what did it mean to us? It meant mostly that we established an independent executive and an independent parliament. Now, it is only in a few cases in the Caribbean that independence included the establishment of a national as head of state. In almost every other former colony, in other parts of the world, in Africa, in Asia, in the Americas, a national is the head of state. In the Commonwealth Caribbean, it's only Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Dominica that is taking this step towards independence. We still have an English woman as the head of our state.
Sir Dennis was in St. Kitts this past week to deliver a lecture on the Magna Carta.
Now, the same reluctance to take the final step to independence is also seen with regard to the judicial arm. Setting the Caribbean region behind former colonies from every other part of the world. Only 4 Commonwealth Caribbean countries have taken this step towards judicial independence: Guyana, Barbados, Belize, and most recently, Dominica. I would suggest that the time has come for all Commonwealth countries to remove this vestige of colonialism represented by the Privy Council.
And to end the WINN TV news, we review the TDC Interschool Championships and the Rams Primary School Championships, both held in recent days at the Silver Jubilee Stadium.
We saw the Sandy Point Primary School emerge champions. They won for the second consecutive year, and they actually won by one of the widest margins since the Farm Institute, where the medal counts were determined the winners. And I'll just call out the top 6 performances so that your listeners can be, aware of what happened. So we had, as I mentioned, the Sandy Point Primary School emerged champions, winning 11 golds, 9 silvers, 5 bronze, followed by the Dr. William Connor Primary School, 6 golds, 6 silvers, 7 bronze. In third place, Tucker Clark Primary School, 5 golds, 3 silvers, 5 bronze. And then the big surprise was the Estridge Primary School, walking away with 5 golds, 2 silvers, 3 bronze. In fifth place, Beach Allen Primary, 4 golds, 7 silvers, 6 bronze. And in sixth place, former champions, the Keon Primary School, 4 golds, 5 silvers, and 6 bronze.
Charles E. Mills Secondary School are the 2015 TDC Interschool Track and Field Champions with a total of 75 medals in total.
What would you say contributes to the way Charles E. Mills and Sandy Point in general performs?
Well, I would get a little personal with this answer because I was privileged to attend the Sandy Point High School, now known as the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, and I think that is just basically the school pride. I think school pride actually goes a long way, and it helps to build your patriotism. You go the extra mile to do whatever it takes legally to make your school be the dominant school, and that is something that was instilled in all of the students at a very early stage. So you go in there, and it's like everything you do, you must be able to excel in what you do. And I think that is the message that resonated throughout the performances of the Charles E. Mills Secondary School.
This has been the WINN TV News. I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.